Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are headed into a game three here for our first match of the day for the 7-Eleven Game Time Anytime presented by the Gaming Stadium. Keg, this has been fantastic. I'm really excited to get to a game three. I was crossing my fingers for a game three. How are you feeling about this?
I'm feeling great. I'm not sure whose map this is going to play into. It was the
Mhm.
decider map, so neither team felt comfortable enough to choose it for their own, but the Viper play is what I'm looking forward to the most. We saw the crazy cosmic divides coming out from both teams inside of Haven. It took a bit of a backseat going to Ascent, but I think this line of sight controller utility is going to be coming back in full force to Icebox, and who's better to do it than Rasu and PKR? They were the same Astros we saw way back, and everything else in terms of the age of composition, Sierra, hasn't really changed a whole lot. We do have the double duelist, we do have the single initiator and sentinel for each side, which is pretty par of the course. The big interesting difference, though, is going to be Noodle now switching away from the initiator pick to an aggressive Raze, and that be countered out by Zeke, who's also different from the Jet as the Reyna as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them on Duelist, especially with Noodle on the Rays. I love watching Rays, and I feel like Rays on Icebox could be really fun to witness here. So it is going to be on Ascent over on Defense, first time around. And like you said, I don't know what to expect from these teams going into this map. All we have to go off of is their play over these last two maps. And going over to a map like Icebox, be interesting to see in the first couple of rounds what starts to really start to stand out.
I'm really curious about the thought process of bringing out Raze on this map. I don't think it's the worst choice, especially if you're comfortable on a duelist, but a lot of Raze's utility is good for clearing space in close quarters angles, and yeah, you kind of do have that on Icebox a little bit, but the main core of where the gunfights happen inside of B main, mid, or even A, those are a lot more open, but I can see that utility going down on A a lot more. We see Rasu setting up for the Viper wall. I think the majority of what ONI fans is setting up for should be for A, but that might play into the Raze's paint grenades a little bit more than they would like.
Yeah, a lot of tight angles, at least over in A main for those paint shells. As there's going to be an aggressive push out from Oni fans here. The stage wall, slowing them down a little bit, giving the chance for the rotation to happen. We saw they were kind of anchored in their spots for a second, but kind of trying now to be getting onto the site. But they aggressively pushed halfway onto site here. Oni fans, though, taking their time now as the Viper wall going to be going up and able to pop around and be able to take Noodle down. Not going to see any fun Raze plays, at least for Pistol around the corner of the right flank, going to be clearing out that close angle as well. Oni fans finally taking this control. Descent only with two on this retake. One posted up in heaven. Not going to be able to do too much here. PKR does have full health, able to at least find one, and not looking too healthy. Sunday is only half of their health here.
Viper wall is set up perfectly for PKR to play off of here. Surprised it hasn't come up just yet. Sneaking away though.
No way. Caught a little bit of a glimpse for just half a second, but backing up. Look at that though, the rope. Being able to take it out down to Sundays, not too much health. Pops around, but Sunday's able to secure this with Oni fans winning this pistol.
That was so odd. That was the perfect wall that PKR could have hoped for the 2v or 1v2, and it just never came up. They had full fuel too. Huh. Interesting. Because that would have denied the line of sight for both Sundays and Zeke.
Yeah, definitely interesting, but still really, really close. But Oni fans being able to win this means they can go for a bit of a buy up. Though Donkey gonna be on that Marshall on the save here for Nascent.
Definitely an interesting end to the round, but you're completely right. We have to see what happens next here, and the aggressive paint grenades to deny space early on for Noodle, now hiding back in 410. Not much really came from that, other than the paint grenades being used.
Not too much, but the Lear's coming out. Big Eye looking to be playing aggressive here, trying to be pushing up into that L, being able to find one Sundays as well. Donkey fire back with Marshall is able to at least try and even out score here a little bit, but unable to be finding another one. Descent on the back foot yet again. Not too surprising with this pistol and Oni fans. All they have to do is be holding these angles. with the better guns at this point to be able to get an easy second round on the board.
Yeah, definitely not a chance to go for the
Ooh.
save. It was a buyout from PKR. Finally won, but look towards the back. That it could be a flank if there was more time. I think Knight's just looking for exits.
I mean, if you can get an exit, get yourself a cute little Spectre, could be fantastic. PKR trying to hold on to this Marshall, though, not going to be able to find it. So dish down to Knight on the exit. Does have the opportunity. Tries. Not able to quite
No way. No way.
What? I thought for a second with 33 HP there wasn't any way he's going to get that. But able to shock dart, bring them down, and right-click himself into a Spectre.
Classic right click might actually be the best gun in the game.
Right? That's a... Yeah, that was fantastic. And I mean, I was scared for a second for him, but I mean, I should not have doubted him for a second there.
Absolutely. But I mean, overall, picking up some weaponry, good going into the next round. I believe that weapon was passed off to nobody. It's still in Knight's possession. Everybody else did buy up, though. Did you notice that PKR is playing the Odin far back on Snowman?
Could be... I'm excited to see what's going to come of that, which we might get a little glimpse of that as ONI fans looking towards E here. Viper wall up. Not going to give any information, but look at hiding behind zone Viper wall. PKR in that corner. Get that. Trying to deny that spike, but no. Not being able to deny this plant, but at least does find Surge. Trying to rotate out after that. Fantastic. Grab there. CV Nix able to be taking another one down. Here it is, though. A little bit. Big plant there with the cloud. But look, that Odin going to be too strong in Descent. Able to be taking this retake.
I think what PKR's Odin was supposed to do is just create space. It wasn't designed to take anybody out, but rather destroy the Sage Wall if it were to go up, or at least make sure that nobody can go near the spike. And I think with Stevie Nicks up above inside of Nest, that kind of corroborates that theory of making sure, like, hey, there's a big giant pinch on side of B, and I think ONI fans may have learned a lesson there, even if it was a buy-up round, that with PKR's Odin and with the combination of Stevie Nicks inside of Kitchen, it's gonna be a deadly defense from their side, and A has worked out so far for ONI fans. And I think them returning to that, and especially kind of counteracting Ray's util, this might be the way to go from them from here on out. I don't think we're going to see much B.
No, definitely not, at least for this round. Razu is going to be looking in the mid here, but going to be walled off. Phoenix on the other side of that. The rest of the team, though, making progress over on A. Sundays with a fantastic opening pick there. Angels not doing too much in terms of damage. Team able to be, you know, backing up, in the back of sight, not going to be making any headway here. ONI fans able to flood this for the 3. And look, CV Nix, Waller B wall type world out there, and being denied the one angle, pops around the other to be taken out. Spike hasn't gone down quite yet. Finally, they had the site for a while, but finally going to be going down here. But they're definitely in a fantastic spot here for this.
More bodies to go down, leaving down just PKR. That Odin was great on the B, not so much for A. And this is always the situation, a 1vx where the Viper's last alive. It's hard to play so aggressively with the utility and what Viper can bring out in this situation. And Odin, a great weapon as well, an expensive one at that. You don't really want to lose it in this situation, but it's not a great entry tool either. Somehow a double kill happens. But look at this. Last two are just going to go down A main. Could assassinate from above. Sundays takes them down. But overall, PKR, great job denying some of the economy from ONI fans' side, but there needs to be more pressure on side of A for the defense. ONI fans have done a great job getting that pressure, that map control, and site control by just skating onto the site and denying any sort of utility, and just not respecting it at all that NASCENT's throwing out on A main.
Oh, definitely. ONI fans here being able to get this early advantage. And look at that. They're just going to go back towards A, or at least for the beginning of the round. Don't really blame them. A has been so good for them so far, especially with Viper over on B setting up. They're coming out. The Bladestorm going to be coming out as well. Try and make any sort of space. They're going to be pushing aggressive through mid, though. They're going to be able to be finding that Sheriff kill. Fantastic little pick there, but kill through mid does still mean that A site is open, and given the opportunity, the spike is going to be going down as they can just get into these post plant positions. Reyna ult make this even more difficult. Little hole in the wall. Noodle does try to pop up through heaven. Going to be going down though. I mean, this is a difficult one for NASCENT, but they're doing a good job putting this into a 3v2 situation. 1v2 now. Just kidding, 2v2 with the res coming out. Up in Nest, given a perfect opportunity for Surge to pop around, take both of them out.
Yeah, that res was definitely a very interesting one to bring out, to say the very least. It was bait right there. I don't know if Surge was meaning to bait out, I'm sorry, if Stevie Nicks was meaning to bait out PKR there, but overall, not really the best res with no cover to go over. But again, ONI fans, their whole strategy right now is to ignore mid, ignore B, just push into A, take full control from the backside, and wait for everyone to either slowly trickle in from NASCENT or just take down all the bodies and make sure there's no damaging, space-denying utility for them to go up against into the post plant. But look at where Noodles is now. He's on B main. That paint grenade was good in the post plant. It allowed them to find that opening pick, but now there's a Viper's Pit all over side A main. That might make things a little bit more difficult for ONI.
Yeah, Oni's still kind of, testing the waters out a little bit, though. They've been doing so well on A, and Viper's Pit not dissuading them quite yet here. Instead, opting to take the high ground. We all know how that goes here. Being able to take off a pick, dismiss, back out before finally falling it down. It's going to go to a 4v4, and this Viper's Pit didn't scare them. They're playing right in this.
Yeah, but they don't know where PKR is just yet. Sage wall right in front, still hiding away inside the A main smoke, waiting for maybe exits or denying the rotate. Where's Donkey?
Donkey's, bopping around with that up. Gonna be caught out by Razu here. It's now just about these angles. PKR does have one onto heaven, but going back into the Viper's Pit. Such a strong ult, but ONI just simply didn't care.
I love how ONI fans just completely respected the fact there was a Viper on A site the entire round and just never went for them. They made sure to go onto tightrope to go on top of 410. In theory, that would have made things easier for NASCENT because there's one single location for everyone on the defense to fire at, but PKR just held their ground, making sure the Viper's Pit would stay up the whole time. But the problem with that is that there's no gunfights, no distraction at all for ONI fans to worry about, other than the big green mist, which was pretty much just not a factor in that round.
Definitely. And despite the fact that A's been going so well, they're going to go B this time. PKR is back on the usual shenanigans on B, but there was a 3-stack over on A, so forcing them to having to go for that fast rotate. PKR with a fantastic opening pick, though, with that Sheriff. You will love to see it. Azu, though, looks up towards kitchen, but walled off. I mean, that's a staple of Sage on this map. Can't be too surprised here. Finally starting to push forward here. ONI fans making some headway as this spike is going down. Stevie Nicks low, but able to be finding another one. Fantastic work done with this Sheriff. 4v4. Razu not able to be quite getting there. Going to be going down from this Blade Storm from Donkey. Look at this updraft around the corridor. Misses the first couple of shots and just updrafting down slowly. No targets in sight. Popping around the corner. Not going to make any headway there either. All down to Knight. Wow. And Marshall does find one. That was a nice shot. But Crossfire too strong there. ONI fans starting to run away with this. Yeah,
ONI fans definitely seem to have a little bit more strategy when it comes to this site in order to this map and know what to do for their own attack. There have been some oddities that have come out from Ascent United so far, but ONI fans, to stick to the more positive, they're really playing together as a team. They've been able to locate and figure out where they want to poke for each round and really take over the site. Every single round that ONI fans have won has been because of a bomb plant or a spike plant to go down. And the one round that NASCENT has won was because of a very nice defuse. So the spike has been the most important thing of the round, and setting up again for A, a lot of counter smokes to go through. Donkey though, a lot of early pressure.
Ooh, there's no better defense than a strong offense. Donkey playing so aggressively, being able to get two right out of the gate there. onto ONI fans, putting them at a disadvantage finally. Though ONI trying to even the score up a little bit. That 3v3. ONI fans, though, back in with the advantage as Razu getting the opportunity to fire back a Viper's hit of his own. Ooh, Stevenix pops over the wall, though. Unable to find that kill. Surge able to take him out. PKR, the B player, gonna be all by himself in this 3v1 with a wall and a Viper's pit and not much else to work with.
Yeah, I mean, we could see the wall come out here. Wouldn't be the worst option in the world. It would telegraph where PKR is pushing from. As of now, ONI fans still think it could be a flank, but PKR is inside of Nest, and no one below can see all the way up on top. Really taking their time, though. Snake Bite in possession. Could be good to find one, maybe potentially two exits. That's one. The other survivor really low.
Discipline does find two. Unable to quite clean up that third, though, but getting closer. But it's still ONI fans play around here over on Icebox.
There's really not much changing, to be quite honest, when it comes to these rounds. A lot of it is just NASCENT either forcing up with their, low eco to get rifles, or just ONI fans pushing into A. There hasn't been a lot of, general changes that NASCENT have brought out. Genuinely, I'm surprised we haven't seen a attack timeout come out yet from NASCENT. I think it should, if it needs to come out at all, this half, it needs to come out right now, or last round.
Yeah, it's either going to be... It's gotta be now or never. You're down 6 rounds at this point. There needs to be an opportunity to sit, talk, find out what's happening next, especially as ONI fans yet again, strong push onto A. There is going to be, Razu though, over on this lurk, both of the Vipers over on B. This trying to get caught out is going to be getting that pick there. We're on A. NASCENT able to make a little bit headway, being able to be at least denying the spike plant for now. But look at that, PKR able to be finding Razu, trying to go help out the team there. Yet again, NASCENT though, not too much to their name. Going to be even more difficult now. PKR is all by himself. 3v1, unable to do it. Here's the 8-1, and you gotta think there'd be a timeout soon, right?
There has to be. It has to come out this round. Please. There's 3 rounds left. Okay, yes.
They heard you. They're like, Keg wants a timeout. I guess we'll call a timeout here.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of I don't know how to say this nicely. There's a lot of fundamental issues with what's going on with NASCENT United. I'm not much of an analyst myself, but I can do my best. The big problem is that the Viper util isn't really doing much at all. I think the Viper's pit on A was a really great idea. It denies out the entire entryway into A, but when you silently on ONI fans side go above with the tie rope in the 410, there's really not much you can do to counter that other than just dropping down and keep actively lurking for those bodies. PKR didn't do that. They made sure the Viper's pit was up, which was good, but it never moved. No one on the defense rotated from B to help them either until the post plant, and then they just filed in one by one and died. Then the Raze util hasn't done really anything either. I think Noodle has maybe 1 or 2 kills, and the paint grenades have not done damage. They haven't created space. They haven't really done a lot. I would just like NASCENT to take that time out to kind of just back up and rethink how they're using their utility to stop ONI fans, to get onto the site rather than playing for only post plants.
Yeah, and PKR does have access to the Viper's pit this time around, and I mean, we saw the hands, going to go for it right away, but look at the mini map. Look at where ONI fans is posted.
I love this.
I mean, if you're ONI fans, this is fantastic for you, but rip NASCENT here, all over on A, and now a wasted alt. Knight is able to take one down, though. The only one that was on the site, but the res coming out right after. Their ONI fan trying to make way here. It's trapped in the one spot, is good for a third before finally going down, but NASCENT, despite the ult being wasted over on A, almost has the opportunity, but going to go to a 1v2. It is Donkey. We've talked a lot of praise about Donkey.
Oh, yeah.
So, if anyone can do this, it could be him, but it's still a difficult one, as all the last two remaining members of ONI have to do is just play Crossfire, and here it is. Surge is just going to be cleaning this up.
Tough situation for NASCENT to be in. A bit of a far cry from what we had seen in maps 1 and 2 here. ONI fans using that aggression that we saw in Haven, and a little bit on in Ascent as well, really coming out full force here, and we've barely seen any ult utility to come out. It feels like, again, just running into the site, taking down any bodies in the way, going for the plant, and then the post plant. It's just every single time we've seen a post plant 2 where it's a 1vx, Donkey, PKR, whoever it is, they're not willing to go for that final push. They're not willing to even try to bring the retake.
Yeah, this one's going to be a rough round 2 in Ascent with some very rough buys on their side. They got a Judge, they got a Marshall. The Donkey going to be going down right at the beginning here. ONI fans being able to just push out onto this site, but that Judge put in massive work. Oh my god, that happened so fast. It took me a second to register that.
That's
1v1.
good.
NASCENT makes the buy work. That was such a broken half buy, and they just got a point on the board from that.
Up close, personal, using that Viper wall to come up early into the round on A main and playing around it with a Judge is what we need to see more of. But by now, hopefully, maybe we could see the 9-3 curse come by. It's what ONI fans found themselves in when they were on Ascent. It's certainly doable and wouldn't be the first time we see it in this series, but NASCENT really need to make that extra push. And Donkey with the AWP, I think, is an interesting start to it because we haven't seen a lot of flashes come out from ONI. Oh, but they're playing so aggressively, and now Donkey's position isn't really ideal.
Not at all. Sundays does have the Blade Storm to work with as well. With that movement, be able to pop around this. Hunter's Fury from Knight going to be trying to slow things down. But look, Hunter's Fury in response. You have a little bit of an idea of where they are. Neither Sova able to be catching one out though. Sundays with the Blade Storm, able to at least find one onto Noodles onto site 2. Taking down Donkey as well, as the spike's going to be going down. Full 5 still for ONI fans. NASCENT only 2 to be working with. But look at this. They have a numbers advantage. The res coming out just in time, but it's going to be back to 1v2 Sundays. That cheeky little 4-piece to secure the round. No 9-3 curse here.
No, not here. Sundays again taking advantage of the fact that ONI fans had full control of the site. The majority of what was once now the defending, NASCENT pushing through one by one and just really lining up for those knives to go into their skulls. It's 10-2 now for the top of 16 best of 3 between ONI fans and NASCENT. And ONI fans and map 3 have a really nice lead. This is the chance though. NASCENT may have just set up their agent comp to be an attacker-sided ordeal. It's gonna be a long battle for them if they have to make their way all the way to overtime. If they have to make overtime at all. But it's certainly to even up with ONI fans' score. It's going to be a very long ordeal, and some people like Noodle need to be able to play that entry a little bit more effectively.
I'm excited to see NASCENT on attack here, given the fact that Noodle is on a raise. I'm excited to see, because I feel like this could be a massive shift in momentum. I mean, ONI has been playing so fantastic here, but NASCENT, this could be the perfect opportunity to make something happen. Right out of the gate, there's going to be a little bit of a trade as NASCENT is going to push on to A themselves. Back at the site though, able to pull them off a little bit. And no, ONI fans able to be securing so far this defense on pistol. It's all down. The PKR tried to be sneaky going up there, but Sunday is not going to fall for it. ONI fans one match away from match point.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work the other way around. But again, NASCENT, really good job with the entry as well. The Viper's Pit from ONI fans came on a little slightly early. And I'm curious to see, are we going to see a B-sided push from NASCENT now just to test it out? There is no dedicated Sentinel like a Killjoy or a Cypher. There's only a Sage on board. This wouldn't be the worst idea to focus towards B. There's only going to be one defender there, and it's Rasu. Rasu's playing deep.
Definitely looking towards that. Rasu holding it with the Spectre. Is able to find one right out of the gate before having to back up a little bit. But Snakebite coming out can decline. Just slow down this push just a little bit. Give the rest of the team a chance to rotate. 2 of them going through mid. There's only going to be one in that flank, but they're going to get pinched here. Look at that. Donkey backed into corner, is able to at least find one, but now OnlyFans is on match point.
Good lord. Great job for OnlyFans now. NASCENT, they're doing a decently good job, right? I mean, it's definitely hard to find analysis, I suppose, but when it comes down to it, they're pushing into the site directly. They're on a broken buy and a sheriff buy for what could very well be the final round of the series. Playing it slow hasn't really been in the books for either of these teams when it comes to Icebox, and I think for an attacking side like NASCENT, who have struggled to find that space creation, they might need to consider just playing a little slow.
You fought well.
For sure. Right out of the gate, Donkey going to be going down with a nice little pick through tunnel before that wall goes up, giving her a little opportunity to be repositioning for underneath tunnel now. But OnlyFans, I mean, they already got 2 of them out. This is match point. It's 1-1 tight in this series so far. And look at this, running away with this game. It's going to be a miracle for Knight to be able to pull this off. And with only a sheriff in hand, I think it's going to be OnlyFans taking this down. OnlyFans have been absolutely dominant on Icebox. I mean, I can't help but just say they deserve it. I mean, they just played so well. I don't think NASCENT ever had a chance here.
No, NASCENT did not look like in full form like we had seen in the previous 2 maps. OnlyFans, though, on the other hand, looked like they had practiced Icebox quite a bit. They've scrimmed it, they looked good, they had a decent form as well. Utility usage was good. Everything you want to look for round of 16 up was in OnlyFans' favor there, but looks like they will be moving on. NASCENT, maybe not so much, but I'm really glad we got to see some great teamwork coming out from OnlyFans' side, but hopefully it's not the last that we see of both teams.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, both of the first 2 games I felt were so good and so well played, especially Heaven. I feel like that one was such a treat, being able to go so many times into, like, so many rounds into overtime. But OnlyFans, just dominant performance on Icebox. They won every gunfight. They had the aggression. They held the angles. Like, there's nothing that NASCENT could have done. And I mean, like you said, there wasn't too much to analyze because it just simply put, OnlyFans just won that. But it was still so well played. I mean, we got to see NASCENT's strengths through Ascent, through Haven. So I hope it's not the last that we see it from them because they did play really well. Just Icebox wasn't necessarily their cup of tea for today.
No, by no means. And I'm sure we'll see NASCENT united again in the future. Hopefully, though, we get to see a little bit more Icebox practice.
I mean, I feel like Icebox is a deciding map a lot of the time. Maybe, re-look. I feel like Raze just wasn't as impactful as I'd like to see. And sometimes it's just, I feel like OnlyFans just kind of shut that down. Didn't even give room for Noodles to work with there. Not even Noodles' fault, but there was just nothing to work with there. OnlyFans just shut anything down right out of the gate. You only had a couple rounds on attack with Raze anyways. You didn't really even get to do what you want to do with Raze. So it's just a tough position to be in. But with that being done, it is going to be OnlyFans winning this in a 2-1 series. We are going to go to a short break before going into our next best of 3. So stay in your seats, everyone. Just a little bit. Go download the 7-Eleven app. Get yourself a snack. We'll be back in just a little bit.